Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Esther and today I'll be reading my law personal statement that got me into all of my university choices. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, whilst I read my personal statement, I will be giving you a few tips on how you should probably structure your personal statement. And disclaimer, please do not try to copy my personal statement, as UCAS has this plagiarism checker, and if they find out that you've been copying and pasting my personal statement, that really reflects badly on your application and it may be flagged up with the universities, and I have no idea what goes on from there, but you can imagine the consequences. So I'm stating it right now, please do not copy my personal statement just for your own application's sake. So here's my personal statement. So I've split my personal statement into 5 paragraphs, and your personal statement should roughly be 80% academic and 20% extracurricular or supracurricular. Now, supracurricular is when you do activities that are heavily around the topic that you want to do, for example, taking a law work experience or debating or anything like that. Extracurricular is just the basic level of whatever you want to do, and then supracurricular really shows that you're very committed to the subject that you want to study at university. So the first two sentences of my personal statement is: should offence constitute whether an act is criminalised or not? To what extent can individual liberties be infringed upon for collective security? Now, just to give you guys a bit of background, I want to study law with criminology at university, and obviously the first opening statement is a rhetorical question about criminal law and whether an offence should be criminalised. So it's really already setting the stage for how the rest of my personal statement will be. Now, the second rhetorical question is just something I find interesting about why certain individual rights, like the individual freedom to privacy, may be infringed upon for collective security. So these are topics that are really within my line of interest, and that is something that you should consider doing in your personal statement. Now, moving on. From researching various areas of the law, including the Mark Duggan inquest and the introduction of PACE 1984 to the newly implemented Coronavirus Acts, this has increased my understanding of the law's ability to adapt to evolving societies. Now, you see what I did there? I linked it to something very modern. When you go on to study something at university, it is best to link it to modern day situations if you can. So you can see here that I've done a bit of research, such as the Mark Duggan inquest, which you guys can search up, and the introduction of PACE, which mainly has to do with police powers. So again, touching upon crime and criminal law, and the newly implemented Coronavirus Acts, which links to my second sentence on how individual liberties can be infringed upon for collective security because of the coronavirus and the pandemic. So you can already see there's a lot of interlinking in my first 4 sentences in my personal statement already. It is this very insight which drives me to pursue a law with criminology degree. I have stated why I want to study a law with criminology degree, and I've gotten straight to the point, which is what you want to do. You do not want to be waffling in your personal statement. You just want to cut out the fat and keep the meat and keep it as it is. Upon attending one of the LSE summer school law lectures, one particular session focused on miscarriages of justice and the Central Park exonerated 5. So I would also say that when you are writing a personal statement, you would really just have to have a lot of experiences. So for me, I completed the summer school back in 2019, mainly because I already knew from like that time that I wanted to study law. So that is why I included it there, and also just sign up for any opportunities that your school has or that you will see around, because even if you're not interested in the subject, it will definitely help you. So keep an eye out for that. After learning about how 5 innocent black teenagers were sentenced to prison, despite there being a lack of evidence which failed to prove their commission of the crime, this compelled me to complete an EPQ which considered the factors that have influenced wrongful convictions in the UK criminal justice system from the 1950s onwards. In this little section, I've told you what I found interesting about the opportunity that I had and something that I took in my own hands to really further my interest. So here obviously I attended the LSE summer school, and then I went on to complete an EPQ, which you could say is a supracurricular activity, as I am going above and beyond to actually study my subject and do something within that field. Moving on to the second paragraph, it reads, reading great debates in criminal law has helped to widen my knowledge of criminalisation, specifically whether the harm principle or offence has to be breached in order to deem an act a criminal offence and the dangers of doing so. Now, if you guys remember, the first sentence of my personal statement links greatly to my second paragraph in response to like the criminalisation bit, and so this is what you need to do. I would definitely say you need to read at least one book, and even if you don't read the whole thing, at least try to find one chapter that compels you and read it. If you don't read it, skim it, get the main point and literally just write it in your personal statement, because it will boost your personal statement so much. It can count as an extracurricular activity as you are reading around the subject that you want to study at university. Furthermore, discovering the lack of training that is required to become a justice of peace in the magistrates' courts from reading stories of the law and how it's broken. This prompted me to further explore this controversy by taking part in the Model Law Commission. Now, when I tell you guys, you need to be on it since year 12, and I will obviously link the other video that I made a long time ago about using these year 12 tips, but you need to be on your A game since year 12. You need to be looking out for opportunities such as the Model Law Commission, which is by BVL. It's really good, by the way. I think I had mine online because of coronavirus, but nevertheless it was really good. And even if you don't enjoy the opportunity, at least write down something that you've learned, and then maybe you can use that in your personal statement later. I had no idea that this would actually link to the reading that I had done. Although I didn't read the whole book, I was able to read like bits of it, and I was able to, you know, extract the information that I needed for my personal statement and link it to something that I had done supracurricular activity, so that it makes my personal statement look good. This has so far allowed me to explore and consider reforms regarding search warrants, how they infringe on our right to privacy for collective security, how the lack of use of alternative methods to search warrants continue to do so, and the role that magistrates play in issuing them out to police. Now, if you guys remember, the second sentence of my personal statement is, to what extent can individual liberties be infringed upon for collective security? Now, you can already see that I've linked that to my second paragraph in explaining the things that I found interesting about the Model Law Commission, and actually practical things that I have observed that infringe on individual rights, which is something you guys should do if you are considering studying law at university. Even if you aren't considering studying criminal law, criminology, or even within that sector, it's really good to make interlinks or synopsis or whatever you want to call it throughout your personal statement, so that it looks polished, it looks like that you're very secure that you want to study law with criminology or law at university, and that it shows you have a determination to actually study it at university. My third paragraph reads, the pathways to law work experience involved completing a group research project around the prioritization of patients in terms of resource allocation, whereby we had to consider why our patients should be prioritized over others and given treatment for a damaged artery. Now, I took part in this work experience because I saw it online and I just, you know, applied for it. A lot of you guys maybe,
but I might get rejected.
Okay, that is the world. You just need to apply for anything and everything that you see if it's in line with what you want to do, because you never know, and if you never apply, then the answer will always be no. So even if you know you're going to get rejected, even if you're very unsure about the opportunity, apply anyways, and then you can always deal with the uncertainty later, but it's always good to apply because then you have no regrets. I then go on to explain what this opportunity did for me and what I learned from it, so listen out for this. This required particular application of the Health and Social Care Act 2012, as well as consideration of Article 2 of the HRA, HRA, which is Human Rights Act, 1998, Right to Life. Besides the project, during the work experience, I advanced my advocacy skills, commercial awareness, and gained valuable insights into employment law. Now, I told you guys already, but I'm going to tell you again. When you take an opportunity, always note down anything and probably everything that they say, because you never know when it comes into handy. And I remember with this work experience, we had like a group project and we had to do a bit of research. Even if that research is literally researching one case, put that in your personal statement, because you still researched that, and that shows that you have actually at least done a bit of work outside of school to actually advance your knowledge within the legal sector. Also, even though I have a heavy focus on criminal law, criminology, I also implemented this sector of law because I want to show that I'm not just stuck on one sector of law, but I'm open to learning about any sector of law. So make sure you do that in your law personal statement, even if you know you want to study corporate law or business law or whatever it is. In year 12, I took part in the BVL Mutant competition, in which I had to prepare for a weekly trial before a panel of practicing judges as a junior barrister. This exceptional experience refined my abilities to write skeleton arguments, prepare bundles, and taught me how to possess an agile mindset when dealing with unforeseen circumstances, as barristers commonly face during a trial. These experiences confirmed my desire to become a barrister. Now, here again, I said what experience I took, what work experience I had. I then said what I had to do in that experience. Very briefly, cut off the fat, just straight to the meat. I then said what skills this experience allowed me to develop, and then I went on to say why this links to why I want to study law with criminology at university. So in this instance, I said that this firmed my desire to become a barrister, and so this would definitely show the university people who are reading your application that yes, you are very determined to study law with criminology or law at university, and actually you are going to take it somewhere after university. My fourth paragraph is very short, but it reads, having achieved a 2.1 on my K+ summer school dissertation, exploring whether the rise of rhetoric was the most important factor in cultivating political power in Athenian times, this gave me a taste of what university assignments consist of and expect from students. Now, I was enrolled on the K+ back in year 12, and that was because I was on my game even before, like, literally when year 12 started, and I did a lot of research to find this program. And so I would recommend you guys actually check out K+, LSE, Pathways to Law with Sutton Trust. Research everything. I'll put the links down in the description box below, but you do want to be active in terms of the opportunities that you do take, especially in year 12 and that summer. And so I achieved a 2.1 on my dissertation, and this was actually marked by a PhD tutor, so it's not something that was taken lightly, as in it was really marked, and to do a lot of research as well. We were given sessions on this topic beforehand, and it was great. It was online though, which was kind of the sad part. But nevertheless, I took something from that experience and put that in my personal statement. Now, my last paragraph consists of my non-academic things, so what I do outside of school, and so here it reads, combining my role as the social media director for a regional youth board, which aims to encourage young people to engage with career and education opportunities, along with being on the student leadership team, has allowed me to develop my leadership skills and ability to work under pressure. I also practice martial arts, which over the years has matured my resilience. I believe the entirety of these skills that I have acquired, coupled with my determined and driven mindset, would make me an asset to study law with criminology at university. Now, you can tell that I briefly mentioned what I do outside of school. So I'm a social media director. So this is with NCS, and me and my youth board met together back in like 2019, and it was great because we all had like one goal. Go check out Infinite Opportunities, by the way, which is where we post daily opportunities for people, and so if you do want to be on your A game, be sure to check it out. Being on the student leadership team, obviously I signed up to do that within school, so I'm telling you be proactive within school from early days. I think we got elected in May 2020, so during year 12, and then obviously I joined the team when I was in year 13, and then I did practice martial arts a while ago, and so I dropped that in because that's something more like sport, and universities don't just want the academic side of you, but they also want something to go off to know that you'll join societies in their university. And so my last sentence really wraps up my personal statement saying, this is why I want to study law with criminology, and this is why you should give me an offer and why you should consider me studying on your course. So I hope you found this video informative. Let me know what you think about it in the description box below, and tell me what other videos you would like to see in the future, and I will see you guys soon.